regardless of if I kept doing Zillow leads or not, or if I would have converted them or not, that doesn't really matter. The reason why I realized that Zillow is a terrible business plan is because welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be filming a Q&A. I'm going to be going through and answering some questions that I've been receiving often from you guys. A lot of these are repeat questions, ones that I get asked over and over again, so just gonna try to cover all of that in this one video. And then I'm gonna go to my Instagram and respond to my DMs because and I feel like whenever I respond to my DMs on Instagram, I normally have a lot to say to you guys, and I like to really take my time and actually think through what I'm gonna say to respond and give you the best response possible. And it takes a long time for me to type all of this stuff out on my phone when I respond to every single one of you. So I'm just gonna go through, pick some DMs, and I'm just gonna read them and then give you guys my response verbally, because I feel like that's just so much easier. We're gonna cover we're gonna talk about Zillow. That's gonna happen. Advice on Zillow. I'm gonna share my story with Zillow, what I think about them. I did a video a while back talking about Zillow, and when I did the video, I was pretty new to the business. And now that I've actually had more experience with Zillow, my opinion on it has changed quite a bit. Everyone's business model is different, and maybe Zillow matches your business plan, maybe not. But hopefully what I have to say can help at least a little bit. And then what else are we gonna cover? Tips for new agents, cold calling for sell by owners, the usual stuff that I talk about. That's all in here. So like usual, I have my questions or my answer to your questions written out. And if you can't tell, I took a lot of time actually thinking through these answers, and yeah, I have a long response. So, and I wrote this response a while ago, so if I'm just staring at my phone and reading off of it instead of talking to the camera, I'm so sorry, but I really, like I said, I wrote this response a really long time ago. Don't even remember what I said, so I'm just gonna have to read it off. So, question number 1. I'm a new real estate agent in Tampa, Florida. This is from Sydney, by the way. Thank you so much for your question, Sydney. And I watch your videos for help. I'm 21 and it's been rough starting in real estate. I gotta take a deep breath. I'm pregnant right now, and so I get winded literally just talking. Like, I've never been like this in my life. I'm like exhausted just from saying a few sentences. So we'll try to get through this, but I might have to take a few pauses and just be like, take a deep breath. So just bear with me. I threw up right before this, so we'll make it through. I tried your tips with FSBO and expired listings. I know it will come over time, but is there any websites you use for cold calling? I know you use Craigslist, and I haven't had any luck with that either. I have used your scripts, and 15 times now people say to me, I know what you're doing, and I had 20 realtors call me every day. Everyone at my brokerage recommends for me to sign up to Zillow, which I started, and that was the first thing that I did, which I shouldn't have, because they get you locked into something for 6 months without fully explaining it. Is there any advice you could give me? That would be great. Another deep breath. Congratulations, and good for you for getting into the business so young. That isn't an easy thing to do. One thing I will say is that it's a lot harder starting out than people expect. It also does take a lot longer of continuing to cold call and prospect and experience the same rejections over and over again until you finally are at the point where you start seeing results. My best advice to you is probably not what you want to hear, but honestly, just keep going and doing what you're doing. There is no magic pill and or magic piece of advice that it's going to make things happen for you faster. Just continue to make your calls and continue to get rejected, and all the while continue to educate yourself, read as many audiobooks as you can. I don't ever like get ready for the day or drive down the road or cook or do anything without listening to an audiobook. I'm constantly educating myself. So Continue to read as many books as you can, listen to as many audiobooks and podcasts and videos as you can to educate yourself on all things real estate, people, sales, everything. Don't even look at the results for now. Just keep prospecting every single day without giving up. And if you do that, I promise you the results will come. Just don't think about the results. Just take the actions that are going to get you there. It can be discouraging. It will be discouraging, but if you just keep doing that, it will pay off, I promise you. And it will take longer than you expect. I know that's easier said than done, but I think that one of the main reasons why many real estate agents, I don't know why I wrote it like that, don't even last a year in the business is because they don't see results and they give up too quickly, because we do live in a microwave society and we expect things to happen right away. I know 6 months sounds like a long time, but if you're truly prospecting and learning, doing both of those things, prospect and learn, only focus, that's all you have to do when you're a new agent. Like, what else is there? Every day, in 6 months from now, I promise you will see results. I don't have any other websites that I use for cold calling. As far as Zillow goes, that is a complete other story. Let me just talk about Zillow. I was paying the same amount on Zillow that I pay for my mortgage every month, and that's just to say, like, that's a pretty good chunk of money to invest in Zillow. You would expect to get an investment back from that. And my thinking going into this, this is what I wrote, all part of my response. My thinking going into this was that I knew it was a risk to be spending that much without guaranteeing, obviously, a return, but I would have rather risked it and figured it out than not spent it, and always wondered if it could have been a good investment, if that makes sense. So no regret or anything. You live and you learn. So I had a year contract with them, and I did that for about 9 months, and I did everything the Zillow coaches tell you to do. Following up is like my thing. That's really what they push. And that's honestly, there's a lot of things that I'm not good at. There's a lot of things I need to improve on in this business. But if there's one thing that I know for a fact that I'm really relentless at, is following up. And that's like the main thing that they push, is if you want to convert these leads, you got to follow up. What I was saying here is, if someone like me who is like following up, there's a lot of things I'm terrible at, but following up is one thing I'm actually really good at. So if someone like me couldn't even convert them, then there's probably a lot of suckers out there wasting their money too. Another reason I didn't want to give them money is because I don't really support a lot of the things that Zillow is doing in the real estate industry. My true moral of the story though is that regardless of if I kept doing Zillow leads or not, or if I would have converted them or not, that doesn't really matter. The reason why I realized that Zillow is a terrible business plan is because who wants to waste all their time chasing around unqualified and flaky buyers? They're not loyal. They're just not. They're from Zillow. They don't know you. They have you can sign all the buyer agreements you want, but they're not loyal buyers. And so I made a decision for my business that I will not work with any buyers that are not either referred to me by, say, a vendor, somebody that I know, personal referral, or who come from, like, if a buyer comes to me from Facebook, there's someone that knows me from there, maybe they watch my videos, that kind of thing, then I'll work with them. But only if they're coming specifically to me and they're gonna work with me. I'm not gonna chase them, if that makes sense. When you are working with Zillow buyers, you can say whatever you want about signing a buyer's agreement, I touched on that, or having a buyer consultation with them, which it is like pulling teeth just to get them to meet with you in the office. But the fact is, they have absolutely no loyalty to you, and that is a great way to waste your time. So with this new business plan that Spencer and I have been doing, basically our only focus is finding listings and making sure our current clients are super happy and well taken care of, and then taking a very few amount of buyers here and there that are referred to us, never from an online lead though, or lead generating site. We were able to exceed our goals every single month, and we honestly don't even work that much. We kind of do what we want. And I feel like there's a lot of agents that probably work so many more hours than we do and don't make as much. And I think that the reason is because they're focusing on the wrong things. They're chasing these flaky, unqualified buyers, and that just does not fit our business model. Our business model is to work the least amount of hours and make the most amount of money. So my rant is over. That was like a solid few minutes just on Zillow. So I'm gonna move on to the next question now. Question number 2. Courtney asks, do you have an objection handler for when for sale by owners say they have a friend in the business? I hear that all the time and it always stumps me. And my response to you, Courtney, was I don't really have an objection for that. I do hear that a lot too. Honestly, I normally just move right past it and keep going with our conversation, and here's why. The reason is because you really never know what people will end up doing and what they're just telling you. And you really never know, a lot of times for sale by owners say things and maybe it's half true. Maybe they do have a friend in the business, but maybe they're not even planning on using them for whatever reason. But they just say that as a good excuse to not be pushed and to get you to go away and stop calling them. So you really never know what they're going to end up doing and what is true and what's not true. I've had times where the for sale by owner told me they had a friend in the business, so their friend was going to list it for them. And this time it was actually an elderly man who said this to me, and his friend ended up having to go to the hospital, or something happened where he wasn't able to take the listing at the time. And I was the only agent still following up because he kept telling everyone he's going to use his best friend who's in the business. And I ended up getting the listing. And other times I've heard the same thing, and right before listing it, the seller decided they don't want to risk hurting their friendship. Sometimes things happen when you work with friends. I'm a big advocate for working with friends, but a lot of people just choose not to work with friends or family. It's a personal decision. And so a lot of times they end up not doing that. And then if you're the only one still following up, they'll end up working with you. Or another thing that I've seen is when the for sale by owner has multiple friends in the business and they can't decide which one to use. They don't want to have any hard feelings. So they just end up using somebody who they don't previously have a relationship with, like myself. So basically, I know that's not an objection, but what I do is continue to follow up because you really never know. I'm going to log into Instagram and just go through my DMs. I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm just going to pick a few random ones, and I'm going to answer the questions that you guys have sent me through there. And I haven't read these yet. I haven't opened them, so I haven't written a response like I did for the last questions. So it's all going to be from the top of my head. Okay, so the human Lee asks, hello, I just moved to Oregon and I want to pursue a career in real estate. Do you know the best way to achieve this goal, such as courses and resources? Awesome, good for you. Good choice on moving to Oregon, like best place you could move, I personally think. Best way to achieve this goal, such as courses and resources? I don't know. Everything that I've never purchased a real estate course that I can think of, or any kind of resources that you had to buy like that train you, just because there are so many free resources out there online, so many YouTube videos, so many podcasts, that I don't think you really need to go out and purchase anything. Seriously, just go onto YouTube or the podcast app on your phone, and then of course books. And I really think that's all you need. I don't think you need to have a fancy like program or course or anything. I think that that's just kind of an excuse. I don't know. Just go online. There's so many free resources. Sorry, that's not very specific, but that's just what I would say. Okay, oh my gosh, this is a long one. I don't want to join EXP, so sorry if you're sending me asking. I'm very happy. I get a lot of DMs. This one I just opened randomly was talking about how I should switch there. I'm sure it's a great company, but I'm extremely happy where I'm at. I think that you could waste a lot of time and money just brokerage hopping, and I don't have any desire whatsoever to switch brokerages. And even lower fees really does not appeal to me at all. Yeah, so anyway, I think if you can't afford a couple $100s more a month to be at a better brokerage, then maybe you should do more deals or something, because it's really not that significant. Hi Mariah, this is Latricy Peoples, I think that's how you say your Instagram name. She says, I've been licensed since April. I follow you on YouTube and Instagram and I love your content. I'm hoping you can help me. I was wondering if you had a mentor or coach when you first became an agent. If so, who was your coach? I'm in need of a coach because it's so expensive as a new agent. It's just not realistic. Do you have any advice or suggestions on what to do? So again, so actually, okay, one thing I did pay for when I first got into real estate, I did sign up for Tom Ferry coaching. I watched like all of his videos before I even got into the business when I was in high school, and it was honestly, I think it was a waste of money. Personally, I learned more from meeting with my principal broker for free than I did from the Tom Ferry coach. It was good. I mean, accountability is really important, and I think that was really the most helpful thing, because all the things that they told me to do, I already watched in all the free videos. But the thing that I think makes the biggest difference is the accountability. But I don't think you need to spend $1,000 a month or however much coaching is. It's very expensive. I think it's kind of criminal to spend that much on, or to charge that much on coaching. But for like 2 30-minute phone calls a month, that's kind of crazy. So I personally, okay, what was I trying to say? I'm losing my train of thought. Anyway, oh yeah, accountability. So I think that the most beneficial part of the whole coaching thing was accountability. Your coach would ask you, did you do this and this and this? You don't want to let them down or whatever. So I think it's very important to have an accountability partner or someone to hold you accountable for doing the things you say you're going to do and that you plan to do that will grow your business. But I don't think you need to pay $1,000 a month for that. I think you could find one in your office and just swap, be each other's accountability partner, or maybe your principal broker, or even your friend. So I wouldn't do coaching, just my personal opinion. And like I said, there are so many free resources out there that it's just not, I don't think it's necessary. I'm gonna end it because my camera is running very low on juice. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you're a realtor and you live outside of the state of Oregon and you have a client relocating to Oregon, send them my way. I'd love to give you a referral fee. And if you're not a realtor and you're for some reason stumbling upon this video, watching it, and you're deciding to make a move, whether you live in Oregon or anywhere in the world, contact me. I love to help you out, help set you up with a solid realtor in your area, answer any real estate questions, no matter where you might live. Don't forget to subscribe if you grabbed any value from this video, and I will see you guys next time.